Things continue to ramp up with Chili Bowl entries, and another major player will be back. Plus, Eldora and Ohio Sprint Speedweek released their schedules, and I've got some insight into how Speedweek played out behind the scenes. There's also silly season news and more. Let's go. It's Tuesday, December 10th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. We continue to get closer and closer to having the Chili Bowl field back to full strength. We already know that Kyle Larson is back on the entry list, and Chase Briscoe outed his future Joe Gibbs Racing teammate today on social media. If you might remember back to June this year, Christopher Bell accidentally slipped up in a press conference and revealed that Briscoe would be joining JGR for 2025, replacing Martin Truex Jr. And today, Briscoe tweeted, quote, "Guess I'll finally get him back for this. Pumped to see @CBell Racing back at Chili Bowl this year," unquote. We found out a few weeks ago that the restrictions were lifted for Bell from JGR and that he could be back on dirt a lot more in 2025. A return to the Chili Bowl makes a lot of sense for the three-time event winner, who is also from Oklahoma. It's my understanding that Bell will be in a Keith Kunz car come January. So Bell is back, Larson is in, Tyler Courtney returns, Logan Seavey is in again with Swindell, and Tanner Thorson has been added to the list as well. The only champion from the last 10 years we'd be missing is Rico Abreu. He didn't race at the Chili Bowl in 2024 as he was down under running the sprint car, and I know he's back in Australia again in December. I don't know, though, what that schedule is, and I haven't heard any rumblings about him returning to Tulsa. But I'm sure we'll get an official announcement on Christopher Bell soon, and we're still waiting on the full rundown of KKM entries for the event. But Chili Bowl could be epic this year. Larson, Bell, versus Tanner Thorson versus Logan Seavey. How are all these guys going to kind of get along? Can Bell get in a midget again and be fast? There's a lot of questions here and a lot of cool stuff that we're going to see coming up. Eldora Speedway released their full 2025 schedule yesterday. The two biggest changes on it were that we got our first hint of what was coming for Ohio Sprint Speedweek and a change coming to the Four Crown weekend. The rest of it, though, is exactly what we've come to expect from Eldora. The Dirt Late Model Dream in June, along with the FloRacing Night in America late models kicking off that week. The Kings Royal in July, featuring both High Limit and the World of Outlaws. The World 100 in September, and the Dirt Track World Championship to close out the season for both the track and the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. The Dream will pay $100,000 to win. High Limit, $100,000 to win in July, with the Kings Royal now $200,000 to win. We did find out about that through the World of Outlaws schedule release. The World 100 is $72,000 to win, and then the Dirt Track World Championship is another $100,000 payday. Back to the changes, though. Ohio Sprint Speedweek hits Eldora on June 17th for the Jack Hewitt Challenge under the All-Star banner, with non-wing sprints also on the card that day. This was our first look at the reconfigured Speedweek, but it was only a few hours later that we got the entire Speedweek slate, which we'll talk about more here shortly. And then Four Crown in September expands to a third day of racing with USAC sprint cars and midgets running Thursday. Friday is High Limit and the Great Lakes Super Sprints, and then Saturday is main events for midgets, sprint cars, Silver Crown, and High Limit. It's a solid schedule all the way around. New track GM Levi Jones getting right to work, making a few important changes. You can see the full rundown over at eldoraspeedway.com. And then Eldora's return to Speedweek puts them right in the middle of a new 9-race setup that runs June 13th through the 21st in 2025. Attica, Sharon, Millstream, Wayne County, Eldora, Fremont, Waynesfield, Moeller, and Atomic are the 9 races that run straight through the week. Attica opening and Atomic closing, they're the same as the 2024 version, but Eldora and Moeller replace Hilltop and Muskingum County from last year. I thought as well that maybe Portsmouth would return with the D. Niddle Memorial as a possibility, but it appears as though Jeff Niddle's still searching for a spot on the schedule for his $25,000 to win show. The other major difference here is instead of Aaron Fry and fast running things, 2025 brings Speedweek back under the All-Star banner, which has been resurrected in a partnership between High Limit and Rich Farmer. And with the High Limit involvement, all races next season will be streamed live on FloRacing. The 2024 version of Speedweek was split, with some races on Flo and others on Dirt Vision. All races in 2025 will be $7,500 to win and $500 to start, with the finale at Atomic paying $10,000 to win. A point fund for Speedweek for the Speedweek Championship was not yet announced. So now that you know what was in the press release, here's what wasn't in the release. First, understand that Flo itself is a big reason why this all came together under Farmer. I've been told they are making a significant financial commitment to raise the purses, and it was this financial commitment that really helped bring all of these tracks together. That Flo involvement with High Limit is likely a major reason you saw Eldora get back in as well. Also, there was an attempt to create either a second speed week or try and supersede Farmer's effort. I was told that former Sprint car team owner Janet Holbrook was working on tracks and streaming for that version, and that Fast and Aaron Fry may have been involved there as well. That deal ultimately fell apart though, and you likely won't see a second speed week with Fast backing. In this new battle for sprint car supremacy in Ohio, this feels like an early significant win for Farmer and the new All-Stars. We're still waiting on a full All-Star schedule for next year and an idea on what kind of roster that Farmer can put together to run the full season. I don't know if I've talked about this point here or not as well, so apologies if I have, but I have seen comments about how High Limit is off for 2 weeks in June, and some thinking this was because of Ohio Speed Week. Understand, though, the same gap in the schedule was part of the 2024 High Limit season, and it corresponds with several other major sprint car events. It's not impossible that some high limit teams could hit up Speed Week, but what is more likely is the outlaw races at Knoxville and Huset's during that break. Huge money on the line there at Huset's as well, so that's going to draw a lot of the main names. And this is also the same week as the NARC run up the West Coast to Super Dirt Cup at Skagit. That one drew both the Rudine 26 and Myers 14 last year. So I don't think I'd be holding my breath that suddenly Rico Abreu and Tyler Courtney, Brad Sweet, and other high limit guys will be making a 9-day blitz through Ohio. 2 silly season moves for you today before we shut it down. First, Kaleb Johnson will run a 60 to 80 race sprint car schedule in 2025 for Dennis Gainey's Team DGRD. Their plan is to run for the championship at both Knoxville and Huset's and fill in with starts between High Limit and the World of Outlaws. Johnson was the Huset's track champion in 2024. He picked up a 360 Nationals prelim win at Knoxville in August. He made a bunch of late season starts as well with DGRD, including appearances at the National Open at Williams Grove and World Finals at Charlotte. I believe Johnson's still looking for his first career victory, though, in a 410 sprint car. Also, Jake Swanson is returning to the USAC Sprint Car Tour full-time next year. He's going to partner up with Doug Doherty to form Daming Swanson Motorsports. Swanson was last full-time in 2023 when he picked up 5 wins and 26 top 10s in 38 races. Team changes, though, left him on the outside, kind of looking in for 2024. He ran just 33 of 44 races. He earned 4 top 5s and 14 top 10s. He's shown, though, that when things are right, he can stack up wins and compete towards the front. The national sprint car landscape will be vastly different with USAC next season. Brady Bacon, Dazen Pursley both focusing on wing racing, and more silly season changes coming for guys further down the order. Defending champion Logan Seavey is expected to return for another campaign with Abacus Racing. This could be a year where we see some other drivers step up and take advantage with Bacon and Pursley moving on. That's DIRTRACKR Daily for this Tuesday. I hope you guys have a great day out there. We will see you right back here tomorrow.